Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Namaskar. This is Engineer Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this day, January 13, 2022, Thursday. मैं सूरज सिंह सिविल इंजीनियर भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज जनवरी 13, 2022, बृहस्पतिवार, सुबह के 3:57। अर्ली मॉर्निंग इज 3:57। Title of talk is same as usual, quality related, around linked with safety and engineering. Title is Quality, Concrete Specifications, Civil Field Engineering, Life Engineers, AnnexSL, Red+Silver+WhiteBoks+SHE, Designs, Construction, Methods, Contracts, Disputes, Organizations, Communication, Coordination, Why Quality. This is very general talk and topics are covered and these are all related to quality because one topic cannot be separated with the other one. All are in chain, all in sequence because quality means it links to everyone. Quality should be everywhere in every topic, that's most important. Otherwise, we can't take quality in isolation. That's point here. That's why I'm taking all this. You can see my name here, which gives my enrollment as well as an important point is SURA Suraj underscore ENGINEER at yahoo.co.uk. That's what is important here for communication purpose, and you can use it if you wish to send message to me. If you like that you need some information or you want to suggest something, it's up to you. It's life, and we can say it's important for everybody that we have to use the opportunity. We have to have information available. If I get some benefit from people, fine, thank you very much for that. And if you get benefit, then I think it's better. I have given so far many videos which are now more than, you can say, hundreds, many hundreds, and this is my certification at international level, and this is my certification at Bharat India level, and of course this is my certification of corporate membership of professional body, statutory professional body, that's Institution of Engineers India, Bharat Abhyantari Sansthan, and this is fellow membership, and here is quality file, and also which I am very significantly interested to share with you information about concrete, which is of utmost significance, for which I want to concentrate a lot because concrete is very important item. And this is here, you can say, terminology file that I have been using, and in this, if you can see here, many you can move down on this and you can see how many terms are written here. These are all defined in short in this. Here you can say alphabetically. If you move down, you can find various terms which are explained in this, and we had gone up to, I remember, we had gone up to H, I remember, H, joint, honeycomb, hoop, law, all we have, hoop reinforcement, etc., hot cement and hard face. So we can say here hydraulic concrete structures, hydraulic cement, hydration. We are somewhere here, I remember. No problem, even if you repeat something, it doesn't matter. Honey effect, let us say, we move from that downwards, hydraulic concrete structures. So let's say higher effect, hot load test, let us say not hot face, hot cement. Okay, we can say hot cement here somewhere here. This is 37. We'll go down from this quickly, but let's go first to files. That is quality file, and I close this file here for membership because purpose of this is just for projection, and I close this file. Also, I close this file of chartered engineer. Now, quality in Bharat, I'm stressing quality in Bharat. Before doing that, current situation of COVID-19, that is today on January 13, 2022, how it's working. It's not a part of quality, but it's part of significance. Fact is that COVID has become currently part of our life, though it was not expected. Nobody likes it, but there is an issue that is become temporary part of our life or it may be permanent, nobody knows. But Omicron, a part of a version of or even a variant of COVID-19 has become very efficient, which following this will be efficient without. But if we compare many versions, COVID-19, Omicron is very, you may say it's infinitely affecting. Infinitely means we cannot estimate number of infections. I was just going through news of US that they say all will be affected, and yesterday was news that at least 50% of citizens in Europe shall be affected. And that's a big concern for me and for everybody. I'm talking of quality, but it's also a great concern material. COVID, I did not include the title, but it's a life point as a life engineers. And if something is happening in our life, we have a duty to know about that. And I consider it's a part of engineering itself because it's assessment, it is estimation. Every agency has failed, in fact, about assessment of cases or assessment of infections about this. That's why I'm just trying to share with you this information that if America is so worried that everybody shall be infected or expected to be infected rather, and also Europe, if they are also worried that at least 50% population shall be affected in coming 2 months or 1.5 months. This means whole world shall be affected, you can say. If you take example of Gulf countries, which are very small nations and small population, thousands of cases have been reported every day in Kuwait, in Qatar, in UAE, Saudi. And there's no congestion, there's no crowding, but cases happening. Same way in our country, which never releases any correct news, is also known, like many other countries. And very important point is only those cases which are reported, otherwise those who are not reported, nobody knows about them. So what I do in our case is very simple, is that our testing is very poor. Testing of patients, testing of people in Bharat, India is very poor, you can say. Not even exactly 50% so far have been tested, I think in almost 2 years. So we can say whatever information we can get from there, infections, we can double it directly, first of all. That is based on information by government, and then we can apply some coefficient also, because generally government agencies report maybe up to 1/3. So we can also multiply a factor with 3 or 2. And if you say you can say half population is tested, double that one and double that one. So you can say some factor from 3.5 to 4 to know exactly what is infection number. And it may apply to all countries, though I'm not sure about other countries. Just now I read news that Germany reported about 80,000 cases yesterday. Yesterday means January 12th, 2022. And we reported about 1.9 lakhs or 190,000 or more than that yesterday too. That is January 12th, 2022. We reported about, you may say 200,000 exactly, not maybe if it is 200,000, if you multiply by 3.5, you'll get about 700,000. Same happened in America, and they say 761,000 cases reported, or you may say around million. So if so many number of cases are reported every day from USA, from our country, from Europe, it's a big question mark. We may say that nobody knows about what is COVID-19. Every effort has failed, and all vaccinations actually have resulted futile. Only covering statement is that we are not hospitalized or we are not serious in this case after vaccination. That can be different explanation. I have no power to, I have no, you can say, professional qualification. I have no professional qualification in this regard, so I can't comment on that. But numbers I'm talking, as far as numbers is concerned, we have to speak quality, but I think there exists no system in whole world where you can get reliable infection numbers. You can only assess It's nothing against society, it's nothing against something, it's only mathematical calculation. Those who report, they are through agencies or through hospitals, and those who test at home, for example, it never comes into record. It's like dead bodies as reported in our country last year. They were all not recorded, same way. So you can assess yourself depending on your intellectual knowledge, but we have to take care that how many are reported, how many are not reported. Main point is we have to take care about how to prevent ourselves, how to keep safe. That's the important point. My conclusion is only that if we take care of everybody or ourselves, we have to keep protected, and that's the only way, no other way. Prevention is better than cure, we generally call it. So here is loss prevention, and that is you have to forget what law says, forget what police people say. You have to keep yourself safe, your family safe. Wherever you are, whether you are at home or you are outside, keep protected. Don't think that at home you are safe without mask. You are not safe anywhere without mask, except time of bathing, taking bath. You can remove it otherwise. I think there is no other time, no other location where mask should not be worn. It's all nonsense to say if having distance you are safe. No, it's not safe without mask. You may sit beside someone or distant someone. Mask is a must. Even in your family, in your room, it's a must. Because nobody is sure whether this virus travels in air. Who knows? There is no confirmation of any existence of it till now. How it works, what is its specification, how farthest it is, or how many hours it can stay. Or nobody knows even, say, air contains this virus. Nobody knows that. We can see soil particles, clay particles, that is 0.0002 mm. We can see that particle through microscope. But this particle is so smaller than that, it can't be even identified. When something cannot be known, generally we say it is Saul effect. We can say in life, oh, I can't understand this is not physical, and then medical science says nothing. It's not answered by medical science, no reports they have any got any disease, but even then person is not happy. Person is not happy in the sense of feeling, and person feels aches here, pain here and pain there. In that sense, because of maybe some super effect, or people call it super or supernatural effect, or even paranop effect. They may say by any name, it's power of soul, or something like that, or vision, or means it may be same here. Who knows? So we have to be careful. Talking about this in this talk is only an appeal to everybody all over the world, not only in our country, that we have to be very careful about this. Because I know people are not very strong these days. Those who are not physical workers, you may say, those people who are middle classes, or those people who sit in air-conditioned rooms, or they enjoy cars journey, or who have to some extent luxurious life, they are most imminent to be impacted by COVID-19 because they have lesser body immunence, lesser body strength or resistance. Those who are physical workers, I think I'm not worried about them. Those workers who work in field, who work on sites, who work in, or not, you may say, office workers who don't sit in chair, they are stronger, or you can say our farmers, they are stronger. But those, particularly those population who work on computers, who travel by cars, who have all luxuries in life, who used to drinking, they are most prone to COVID-19. This is for everybody, but precaution is essential for everyone. Better avoid elections, rallies, let political go to hell, politician people go to hell. You know, it's not necessary to go to rallies, you know, CV of someone and go there. My only statement is nothing, just for 10 minutes I took to explain to you what's the status now. I come back to quality in Bharat, India, about talk, why it's so concernable, and COVID is also a part now of life. You can't keep it away. Even if I want, I can't keep it away, because I think nowadays all news, all news, whatever you see, you are much worried about COVID-19 news, and that's what it says. That's what it says. That we have to be ready for ourselves. We have to govern ourselves. We have to govern in this scenario of COVID, and also we have to govern in scenario of quality and life standards, particularly in such a time when such disease exists. It travels throughout world. It doesn't stop. In that case, we have to keep quality also intact, because quality of every item, let us say quality of pollution, quality of air. Pollution is also responsible for such diseases, and though we may not be clear about that, but it is all chemicals that are contained in air. It's all imported or foreign chemicals that are contained in waters, and these chemicals result into various diseases. If I take some food, it contains some inorganic or organic chemicals, it impacts my health. Same way, COVID may be one of those contents. Who knows? It's not clear yet, and it may not be clear in coming weeks, I think, or months or years. What I assess that up to 2025, we may not be in a position to know exactly what has caused this effect to us. So if we keep ourselves safe from all other impacts of life, we can face COVID better than something else. And when I'm talking of quality, I don't think why I'm talking that much. Maybe I don't know, I'm sick of this, or maybe I have seen impact of this in my life. Maybe you people did not have that much impact, or you might have not taken it seriously. That could be another reason, because maybe you are very rich, you have a lot of money, you don't care about small. But it's not question of richness or not. Question is quality is a must. Why should we not worry about quality? That's my point of view. What's harm if you care about this? After all, this is your item, this is your work, this is your world. I cannot say, oh, I'm not affected by this, other person is being affected, why should I care? No, that's not the way. It is society that is affected if quality is not delivered, if standards are not delivered, standards are violated. It is everybody, even if you do not use that item, you are affected. Why quality should not be considered? That's first point. Another point is about engineers who are professionals and who are responsible for at least consumable quality and non-consumable quality, and those doctors, those scientists who are also leaders in this, they must be serious. I am talking about those who are professionals. I am not talking about those whose professionals have turned to business status, like clinic owners, like hospital owners, like industrial owners, factory owners. I am not inclined, and my talk is not focused onto them, because they know what they are doing and they can't change. You see, when money comes to you as first consideration, when money becomes your destination, your approach is only to augment your money level, money store, then I don't value you. In fact, you may be billionaire, you may be engineer, you may be doctor, you may be whatsoever. When your approach is only money collection, your approach is not social welfare, your approach is not world welfare, your approach is only to become higher level of storekeeper of money. I call all riches storekeepers of money. You may not agree with that, but it's not an insult also, because you have to be storekeeper of quality rather than money. I respect those, at cost of loss of money even, who care of quality, because they care for humanity, they care for nature, because quality means material quality or work quality, which is directly related to nature. We can't do anything without support of nature, that is also true. We care about food we care about articles. If I say I take some food, I don't like it, or it impacts my digestion, I always blame that. What I have taken, I don't know, something wrong has gone to my stomach. And what is that actually? Some ignorance somewhere, by cook or by yourself, or by rotten vegetable, or by some septic food you have taken, or something else. We may call it poisonous food. You may call it poisonous. If food can be poisonous, why can't work? Why can't other products? Do we can't call them poisonous? But in fact, bad quality is a poison, right? Just like ignorance of safety is a poison, ignorance of health is a poison, and ignorance of environment is also a poison, which is directly evidenced now. Pollution, which is a part of environment now, it's also poison. And they say we are living in a gas chamber, sky gas chamber. Of course, that's right. This means poison is also a part of life until pollution exists, until quality is not achieved. Bad quality is achieved. So I should simply say life has become poison. When I say life engineers, I would simply say engineers have brought poison to ourselves. Industrialists, factory owners, producers, all have procured poisons for delivery to consumers. Government has become agencies to provide and deliver poison to public. We have converted required specifications to poison specification because we don't care for that. Medical science and engineering sciences have partly become poisonous agencies. Why? Can we call it poison or no? It's not necessary that it should impact my body, my health. It can impact my mind also. When I travel by car or by bus or by some other vehicle. Air I have to respire. I can't avoid that. I have to respire carbon dioxide, ethane, methane, whatever is available. In addition to argon, oxygen, I have to, in addition to nitrogen, I am forced to respire partly poisonous airs, poisonous gases. Without my fault, I have no fault, I have no act in that, but because I am part of population, I am part of this world, and also air is my food. You cannot say it's not your food, it's a permanent and regular food. Even if you don't want, you have to breathe, you have to intake. So this is not in your control, that's also true. I cannot control air, I cannot control moisture in that. I cannot control that I can take out this part of air gases and respire. We have no such power so far. This means it's poison that I have to smell. I can't avoid that. Same way, I have to digest poison in all materials, all activities which we do not act seriously against. That's what I am trying to project. Questions remain as usual. Questions always remain as usual. That's not an important point. Questions remain as usual, we say. That's not an important point, but why? I mean to say, when I say that we have to take this into consideration, we have to take that into consideration. Quality is an important factor in life. My questions are same, but everyday explanation can be different. As I said, what about major materials being concrete and structures? Nobody can deny this fact. Concrete and structures are interrelated. There can be no structure without concrete, and there can be, I mean to say, in general, it may be partly concrete, partly steel. It may be partly concrete, something else. But concrete is very common item that we deal with, and it's very important material, and which is a result of, which is a product of many ingredients. Its ingredients are aggregates, we call them stone chips, and many sizes of aggregates, not one sizes. In general, we can take, if you take overall concrete, it may be up to 40 down to I mean to say smallest one, the smallest size. We nominally call it 40 aggregate, 20 aggregate, 12 aggregate, 10 likewise we call it. And it may be also sand or stone dust with different particle sizes. We cannot simply say that these are one part of aggregate, two part of aggregate. There is this stone chips, stone aggregates, and also we call them coarse aggregates in engineering language. And also this dust or sand, we call it fine aggregate, as well as we call water as a material, which should be potable in construction based water, and also cement, which is another material. It's another material which is having many more materials in it, like limestone, and like also silica, or many chemicals within that. And this complete design trial mix results in certain grading. You have to use kilogram wise or weight wise. All this should be weighed and mixed together, or volume wise, or whatever it is. So in this material of concrete, which always varies at dry stage, at mixed stage, or you can say in reaction stage, hydration stage, and hardening stage, until it gets full strength, and of course in service stage. It is impacted by carbonation, it's impacted by corrosion input, or you can say rapid chloride penetration. Likewise, it keeps on changing its properties. It changes its properties, so its study is also very important. Concrete of various strengths, we call various compositions, and method of its production, which can be construction on site, or precast construction, or pre-stress construction, or we can say material of structural steel, material of stainless steel, and various other materials. There is no way to explain them at this moment, but we can just consider these materials for purpose of understanding only how quality is related. Material we know are very expensive. It's not because in cost exchange or in value. It's important because of its availability. We should not forget, we cannot produce any of these ourselves. We can crush, of course, we can crush them. That's not production, that's a process, only a part of process. These materials are available in nature, everybody knows, but we never realize. Rocks are available, this means stones are available. Rocks are available, this means dust are available. Dust is available. Rock is available, this means many minerals are available. Many minerals are available. It may be igneous rocks, it may be sedimentary rocks, or it may be metamorphic rocks. It may be, you can say, whatever kind of soil we have, that is a result of all these materials. We can say soil, clay soil, sandy soil, peat soil, or whatever else. All are imported, all are extracted from our wealthy body, most wealthy body, most economical based body, economy based body, and that is called our earth. Lithosphere is a part of that, air is a part of that. Lithosphere plus aerospace is equal to earth. And this earth gives us every item, every material. We cannot say no. Our major economy comes from lithosphere and aerosphere. We cannot live otherwise if this economy is absent. Whatever food we consume, it doesn't come from somewhere else or anywhere else other than earth. God has given us all sources, original sources, which working together give us food. Of course, not cooked food, natural available food, which we convert into eatable food in by process of cooking, and which also require energy like gas or electrical one. And gas energy also is given by God directly. It may be propane gas, LNG, or what we call it. It is not produced by human being. Water we take, which is also given by delivered by nature, and air we use, that's also delivered by nature. It is used, all these agents are used for processing agriculture, for processing machining or plants. We can say that nothing exists which we can have ourselves except this body which we live in, and that body is also natural production, but at least we can work on this. Our efforts can be applied through this body. Neither we can leave this body ourselves, we have to use this body until we are in this bodies, our bodies, I mean your body. So material is very important part of nature as well as a part of human being for purpose of utilizing it. Nature does its job, we cannot say how it does. It's a master, it's, you can say, highest doctor of humanity. What nature does, we cannot change it. Nature knows everything, what it has to do. It is its own producer, its own designer. It's only enough if we understand what nature has done. That's enough. Because more than understanding, we can't do anything else. Nobody can say, I can change this. You cannot change this. Yes, you can try to spoil this, you can spoil this. That's true. As we have spoiled air, God never provided offensive air. God never provided defective air. It's human who has destroyed it. And that is unfortunate part of, I can say, humanity, that we never respect agencies of nature. And that's why we are under stress. Mind to be free, to be fresh, requires happiness or happiness-based thinking. And we use all materials, and because we say it is material world, yes, it is true. We live in material world, or we call it mundane world. Mundane has got many meanings, and everybody understands that. But we have to link it to what? We have to link it to our desires, our requirements. We use these materials for future, for current. Of course, we can't use them for past. This means we use to meet these current requirements, whatever we have, and we use these materials for future requirements, thinking that future people, future generations will enjoy it, which we also term these days sustainability. So we use these materials for current existence, current survival, and for future survival named sustainability. Both are related. If we spoil currently, we spoil future also, means we spoil sustainability. If we preserve now, we preserve for future too, and that is called sustainability. And all materials should be sustainable, we can say. We have to use in a way that these are sustainable, and this can be sustainable only when we care about them. We process something to get good quality material, and that quality we define ourselves, nobody else define. That's also true. We define quality because we understand quality. And these we call engineering materials because these are processed. These are brought to a level where this can be used. If you leave stone chips as it is, what purpose it will serve? Nothing. It can't be used. Maybe at most you can fill it somewhere for storage purpose. Stone chips or crushed stone, you can say. Okay, yeah, as far as rock is concerned, that is there. We can't even lift that rock. We can't lift that rock. That's also true. But we can use it. That is important point. What I say is, my question is that we use hundreds and hundreds of material products or parts in our life. We manufacture those parts. And this is what engineering science is. This is what engineering world is, scientific world is. We conduct research on these materials. We try to understand what these materials are. Thousands of observations are available. Thousands of specifications are available what these metals are. And what use can be done, how can we use such properties, materials, what are merits and demerits in such use. Means it's complete domain, material science. But that material science also says that it is used in engineering. Material science is a subject, because without materials, engineering cannot move. Material means a resource, major resource. Material, human resources, machineries, technologies are generated because of materials. Otherwise, these cannot generate. Material is prime component of technology. If there is no silicon chips, there can be no IT. That's also true. If there is no plastic, there can be no device. That's also true these days. But plastic gives us a device. Plastic gives us some gadget. And same way, silicon chips, which is something organic as well as inorganic, it gives us something in terms of IT. This means material is very basic. Matter is very basic, right? And it is very basic everywhere. When I talk of real engineering, which I consider real raw engineering, you can say, or real material engineering, you can say, or you may say real life engineering, which I relate to, and life is related to, that is construction engineering, civil engineering. I every day try to explain that it is natural engineering, it's not real engineering, it's nature that tells me you have to use me for your future. It's nature. When I use this for nature, you think that is superpower. It's nature that allows me to use its strength, to use its property for my future, or for world future, or for public future. If these materials are not available, it's not possible to construct anything. You have to understand these basics very well. You know why engineers miss world profession? Because we never go to base. Without base, we cannot do anything. That is also very important. It's unfortunate that we do engineering, but we do not. We are taught, in fact. That's true, we are taught. But unfortunately, we do not care. We are taught everything in our engineering books. Elements, engineering starts with elements, no doubt about that. We are taught everything, every element of engineering, but we take it lightly. That is also true. We know what is engineering, everybody knows it, but we take it lightly. Oh, why you go in this primitive thinking? We have just to apply it, and that is where fault lies in. Now, as I say, we have to understand nature, and nature is economics. To be very frank, nature is economics. I understand that. Do you understand that? How? If I ask this question to everybody, I'll get varying answers, that's true. As I sometimes write about economics, somebody pointed out, some of our professional engineers pointed out, you are an engineer, your subject is engineering, you can talk about economics. On what basis? Are you economic expert? I mean to say, is economy require economic expertise in general life? You think so? I don't say that economy is not a specialization. Economy is a domain, but that is different economy. That is economy of country, economy of state, or economy of world. But when it comes to my level, I have to understand economy. Can I operate my budget? Can I devise my budget without understanding what is expense and what is income? We can't say that. And if I do that, it's not economy. It's just general. Or you can say it is general economy. Just like we say general engineering, it is general technology, it is general thinking. When we say general, means it is common sense. You can say that. Common sense economics, when I talk, is common sense. I'm not talking economic technology. I'm not talking economic biology. I'm just talking economy that applies to me, to applies to my family, to applies to my state, or that can impact on me. That economy. Basically, we have to understand economy is not anything, to be very frank. Economy, we talk in currency language, that is fictitious. It is fictitious, really. Maybe economists may not agree with me because my contemplation is different. I said I'm not talking economics, so why should I worry about that? I am talking about strength of economy, which can never be measured in terms of money, in terms of value. It can be measured in terms of quantity only. Whatever wealth we have in nature, we cannot get any other wealth from somewhere else. We cannot get any other wealth from anywhere else. We have lithosphere, we have aerosphere, and we have solar system. Everybody knows about this. And if somebody says, no, I do not know, then you do not want to talk reality. You do not want to know facts. Though facts are not required to be known, these are available. But even then, observation is a must. Sometimes what happens, something is available, we don't care about that. We don't even try to know about that. And that's where we ignore. For example, you walk on road, you find some stone chips. I don't care about that. Or I want some water stagnant somewhere. I don't care about that. But we forget. This is material. Even dust accumulation, or you can say sludge accumulation, we don't care about, oh, this is all rubbish, we have to remove it. That's true, removing is different. But somewhere, directly or indirectly, that constitutes a part of material. Quantity of material, as I said, is very important part of engineering. Quantification of material is very significant part of engineering. And engineering means, when we say what is meaning of engineering, you say do something, produce something. Yes, that's right. That is process of engineering. But meaning of engineering is how better you can use your mind. How better can you use your power of light that you have in your mind. If you can use that power successfully, you are best original engineer. I'm saying original engineer. I'm not naming it by any professional engineering. I am saying original engineer. Engineer means to analyze, to understand, and to find some solution and work on this. A person who can use intellectual power, A person who can use mind is engineer. I'm not talking of academics, I'm talking of life. If I can understand what is it, how is it, how it can be used, it is simply called original engineering, and that original engineering every intellectual person has got. But when we use this unit of original engineering into our profession, that becomes professional engineering. Because it can be monitored, it can be evaluated. And that's what I am saying. Economics is also engineering. It's nothing other than that. Only when you equal it or you compute it in terms of money, then real, or you can say measurable economics come into picture. Because how shall this power be used? How shall this wealth be used? That is not part of engineering, that is part of economics, or you can say how to distribute this, how to transact it, that is practical economics, you can say. Those economists who say you have this much wealth, they only actually talk of use of wealth. They don't talk of wealth, they talk use of wealth. Wealth is available, you cannot increase it. You can decrease it, of course, you can destruct it. You cannot increase it, you cannot manufacture it. Example, fossil fuel. It's what? Is it your production? Is it our manufacturing? Not at all. It is natural process based material, and nature is manufacturer of this. Nature is, you can say, responsible for its capacity, for its quantity, and that is available within lithosphere. We do not know even today exactly what is quantity of natural wealth world has got. Only political we know this is our area. Whatever wealth behind this or beneath this is mine. That is only human relation, and that's only, you can say, different world. But as far as nature is concerned, whole lithosphere belongs to nature, whole lithosphere belongs to humanity and not to any part of world. I am not going away from subject, I am still on subject. I am talking of quality, and quality means, I say, thinking quality also important. If my thinking is controlled by someone else, I cannot explain anything. I have to think this earth is mine. Yes, I have to think I am owner of this world. But that is not practically correct. But responsibility wise, everybody is owner of this world. You may say delegated honor, or you may say responsibility honor. Until I travel on the earth, I have responsibility to own, or own responsibility both ways, you can say. I am honored to travel successfully, and I can travel successfully only when I understand and use these earth resources properly. These earth resources belong to everybody, even to animals and to birds and to all creatures of world. It's not talk of spiritual science, it's talk of real science. We can't deny this fact, but problem is politics. Problem is might is right. I am honor. Our thinking has to change if you really want to achieve quality. Our requirement is preservation of wealth, not destruction of wealth. But unfortunately, human has been cruel. If human is merciful, human is cruel also. God takes lot of time to produce this earth, to produce something within this earth continuously based on continuous process. But we are so expert in destroying everything. We never think of construction, we think of destruction. There are two ways: construct it or destruct it. Construction is result of structure. Structurization, or we can say structure it, that means construct it. Construct, plus struct. And destruction is remove con, add d, it's destruction. It is very easy to destruct something, everybody knows it. If something exists, you can break it, you can damage it. It doesn't take much time. But if somebody says you construct it, I think that is long process, hard process. That process requires energy, time, mind, everything. Construction is something that is life. Destruction is something that is death. People say one person is nuclear engineer, one person is nuclear scientist, and I think it's a matter of pride. Yes, it's a matter of pride until this science, this engineering is utilized only for constructive purpose. But same time, it is hateful if it is used for destructive purpose. If a scientist or an engineer who works on construction of atomic bomb, I do not consider that person a scientist or an engineer. I consider that person a devil. Because you did not produce this material for destruction of humanity. Who gave you this authority? God did not produce it for that purpose, but it is only human who wants to kill others. Purpose of nuclear bomb is to kill others, no other purpose, today, tomorrow or some other time. But purpose of electrical production is not killing others. This is only difference. Purpose of use of nuclear energy for development, for peaceful purposes is never ever against God. It can never be called act against God. But production of nuclear energy for purpose of killing others is certainly measured in terms of act against God. So what I am saying is both having qualities. One is quality to kill others and one is the quality of construction. And remember, construction is very difficult. Those who do construction work, they do forever. They do for long-term use. And those who for destruction, they are not humans, I can say. It may be whatever country, it may be whatever power, they all work against humanity. You have no right to kill humanity because you have no power to produce humanity. Construction is always very difficult, remember. It may be mechanized construction, but it's very difficult. Destruction is very easy. We have to establish this sort of thinking into our minds. If we can't do that, then what we are? We are just like a dog running behind car. For what purpose? Dog doesn't understand. Just barks and run, and car leaves, dog just stays and withdraws and come back to its point where it was sitting. That is what is destruction. Wasteful use of energy. But if same energy is utilized for preservation, for development, we can get a lot. That is my worship. If I respect God's earth, it's not less than worship. If I respect God's strength of humanity, God's strength of non-human creatures, I respect, I care that. It's my prayer. My prayer is not to go to temple or mosque. My prayer is because world itself is a temple. This planet itself is a temple because we have been living here. So what is meaning of other temples or such structures? That's only abusive power. Okay, you use it. I don't say no. But my saying, if you preserve, if you're such a mind that can think of good of this earth for future generations and also for durability of earth, which cannot be defined. We can define durability of structures because we know how to do that. But we can never define durability of this earth. We don't know how many years old this earth is in scientific terms. We don't know how many years this shall continue like this. We do not know that. So I'm just talking of some quality. I'm not talking of whole quality. Earth itself is quality. It's a system. It's a quality system. And such a quality system that we have not been able to understand it till now. And we may not be understanding it. I think it's God's wish not to release secrecies of earth. And we are having journey on this earth. We are using it as a vehicle during our journey, our birth to that cycle. We use it as our car, our train or flight. How many people know earth travels at a distance 1800 km per hour on its perpetual axis? We can calculate, or we can say we could travel 1.25 lakh km per hour around while its orbit sun. What I am saying, these are some points which can be just calculated for entertainment to know secrecies. But when you talk of quality, it's also secret because quality depends on conduct of material, how material behaves during its lifetime. How energy is stored in material, we know every material is energy. It's nothing else. We say stone energy, we call it, dust energy, soil energy, heat energy, air energy, or whatever we say, ultimately it is energy, or you can say solidification of energy, consolidation of energy. We do not know exactly how that performs, but we know how to use it. If we use that material for construction of houses, construction of buildings, construction of roads or whatever, it gives us a base and we call it development. Development of what? Development of how to make life more comfortable, how to make one's life more suitable. We may say quality of life, generally it's called. When we are worried about quality of life and we are not worried about quality of earth, quality of resources, quality of how to extract them, how to use them, if we are not concerned about that, then we cannot call that engineering exists. Engineering is that science which tells us everything. That's why engineering is different. Engineering is different because we have to think a lot. We have to think a lot that much which is unknown. Engineering is full of secrecies also. Whatever is known, that's fine, but whatever is unknown, but we use that. It's unknown, we use it. We use solar system, we use sunlight for agriculture, we use sunlight for our health, we use air, we do not know how air operates. Yes, it's technology, we understand, components, but we don't know how it was created. Can you answer this question? If you think on, say, what is the process of creation of air? I think nobody can answer this. How is the process of creation of water? Nobody can answer this. What is the process of creating of this planet? Nobody can answer this. What is the process of creating the solar system? Nobody can answer this. No one can answer this. But it is available. It is available. Not only available, it has been operating successfully without any stop, without any hold. And that's where point lies in. If you compare this whole system to engineering only on earth, I think engineering is very small word in that case if you compare it to scale of whole solar system. We are very small. Though I'm claiming I'm engineer, I'm chartered engineer, I'm professional engineer, I'm big engineer. Yes, we claim it. It's only in our minds. That's why I'm talking about very small entity, and that's quality. I can't preserve it, I can't know it. I only try to know it. When I say we don't know quality, it's really surprising to someone why I'm talking like this. But fact is, it's a fact. We have to improve it. And that's the reason that I raise so many questions in current scenario. I don't know to repeat these questions, you can read yourself. Until I change it or I amend it, I don't try to explain. But I try to say that we have to try. We have to improve. Of course, this is natural material, which can be defective also to our understanding, or which can be superb as well. First consideration, these are superb. Second consideration, how best to use it. That's what we say, technology available. Yes, it is. Science is available. Yes, it is. That's why we process it. That's why we do something. And concrete is a material which is not, it's a cohesive, you can say, or in our terminology, whatever you can say, it's a material of combinations of many materials. It's a group of products, natural products. It's a group of products, natural products, or you may say concrete itself is original product if you relate it to products. It can be constructed, it can be used as mix and to convert that mix to whatever shape. We can say for purpose of engineering, quality is most important. And quality means how best we can use it, that process to do it, and what is process in that process. What should be, you can say, operation in that process, which we call technology. It may be technology in designs, it may be technology in construction, or it may be technology in operation. All sequence of technology must be clear. And if what we want to do is clear, we have to do it, and if we can do it, result can be called approved quality system for ourselves. I approved this to use, and result is that it has got its use. And that's what I say is more important. We can't take anything else for that. Sometimes it is very easy to answer a question. It's very easy, of course, to answer a question. And same time, same questions and answers have got no meaning because we just answer formally without actually understanding that. Whenever I stress on quality, I mean system. System which is available. And it's not that it's available now. It has been available, I think, for many, many decades. If this was not a system, some other system was available. And this never goes away. Life forces everyone to do something, and person does something. It's not for sake of money, it's for sake of existence. Means we have to change our thoughts of quality. That's what I'm saying. I have been noticing that for many, many decades, our thoughts have changed. There was a time when people used to think that standards lie in character. Standards lies in your way of thinking. What way you think. Education was not available to everyone, and therefore it was important. Therefore everybody wanted to learn and to have certain degree. Because it was not available. And whatever was not available is considered some asset if you had that. Now, education is available, and I don't think that nothing is available or I should say, I don't think that you can't imagine anything that's not available. All subjects are available, all sciences are available, all mechanisms are available, and what is not available even then? When everything is available, my question is why quality is not available? All professions are available, corruption is available, right? Which is not required but is available. And what is required is not available, and that is quality. Certain thing is not available, that is quality, and certain thing which is not required, that's available, that's corruption. And certain thing that's also not required is ownership, that is available. I am owner, it's my right. Yes, it is your right. But what do you mean by right? That's also true. What is meaning of right? Right doesn't mean you have to eat this building. You have to use this building. But your right is also there as an engineer. Why could you not achieve quality? What about that? See, right means responsibility. Right doesn't mean possession. Got my point? When we say right, right means you have to take care of this. That is right. Privilege is that, yes, because you have right on this, you can enjoy it in particular or in exception. You have right to enjoy it as a group or as an individual. That is only meaning. You cannot take it with you when you go back home. You have to leave it here. That's a fact. I cannot take anything when I go back home after completing this journey, which we generally called left or leaving for heavenly abode. We say heavenly abode. My home there in that country which I don't know. I can call it a country, yes. Country, unknown country, other than location on this globe. Where I have to go, I don't know. But until I live here, I have to live it with my positive approach, with my truth-based approach. And that is, I have to do justice with myself first, and I have to do justice with what I use, and that is natural resources I have to use. Sometimes you may feel I am just deviating from this issue and coming back to this issue. No, this issue is like that. We have to consider quality by mind, by heart, by soul. And if we don't do that, we just consider might is right, then quality is not right. And remember, might can also not be right. We have to realize these facts. Quality is challenging issue. Engineering may not be challenging, but quality as a part of engineering is a challenge. If you want to develop, you can never develop without quality criteria clubbed in. You cannot do that. It is not possible. Without contracts, something cannot be done, or we can say nothing can be done in real world. And contract is not something, something unknown. We are ourselves contractor, we are ourselves engineers, we are ourselves whatever we are. Somebody has to do this and somebody has to do that. That's the only difference. Sometimes I have to be consultant, sometimes I have to be contractor, sometimes I have to be engineer, sometimes I have to be owner. It's my job. Which one you do, accordingly you are claimed. There's no question of superiority or inferiority. Okay, I cannot do everything, that's also true. And if I want to do something, I must have resources. I must have certain basis. Only then we can do. But remember, these are all relations. These are all relative. Only to do something. Ultimately, development involves everything. Development involves everything, nothing else. If you don't develop, we don't do anything. If you want to develop, we have to do everything. That is what life is. I think maybe you feeling bored now. Your quality explanation is boring. Yes, that's right. My quality explanation is boring. Very boring. And you are yawning, I know. No problem. If my explanation brings yawning to you, this means it's comfortable. It is comfortable in the sense that you can relax. Means my explanation is flexible, it's entertaining, though it may not be professional, but it is really professional. That is also true. What should one do? You know it very well. What should engineer do? What should owner do? What should manufacturer do? What should industrialist do? What should consumer do? What should blah 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 blah. Whatever it is, blah blah blah. But ultimately, we have to talk of quality in respect of life, and I try to concentrate on life and engineers, and that's only reason I refer to many points like COVID and like nature, like materials, like contracts, though I'm not gone to in details of contract, which we have to do. All these topics, whatever are enumerated or narrative given, are all linked together. And ultimately I can say most reliable and relative talk is which does not have any shape, which does not have any structure, which does not have the risk of collapsing but collapses, and that is communication and coordination, without which nothing can move. But situation is that today it moves others, unfortunately. Lack of communication or irrelevant communication is efficient than relevant communication. Lack of coordination, I find today, in today's scenario, both are missing. No coordination, no communication, or you can say no professional communication, no professional coordination. It is because of systematic change. Systematic change. Unfortunately, without coordination, you can't do work. And it's also unfortunate that without communication, you can't coordinate. Communication is a medium of coordination, and coordination is a requirement of every engineering act. Both are missing. If you cannot communicate, you cannot do engineering. If you cannot communicate, you cannot do coordination. And if you cannot communicate, you cannot interact. But exclusively talking is also not enough. That's the important point. We have to refer to something. Even if we talk, it has to be valued in a sense that we talk point to point, we talk with understanding. I have good experience in coordination, and based on that, I may say that coordination means a kind of concentration, simultaneous concentration. You have to do some job. Maybe in first go you can't understand anything, but when you enter into details of whatever you have to do, then for sure details speak themselves. If you are an experienced person, you know what is meaning of coordination, what is meaning of communication. Our communication is not how are you and how do you do, or good morning or good evening. That is not communication here. Our communication is professional one. We have to explain and we have to be explained both. If I want to do something, I must get reliable input of that, or I have to do something on my own and get it confirmed. When we do projects, it's something different. We can't sleep simply, we have to do a lot. concrete qualification, or you can say concrete specifications rather than that, as we refer to always. And in this talk also, I like that why I was concentrating and why I am concentrating on concrete specifications or concrete meanings or terminology, because it's very basic. Concrete is major material we use on products, and we should know first ABCD of it. So I tried to get this document and share what's written on this, though you know about this, but even refreshing is very important. It's a process of refreshment. You can say you have to refresh yourself. Sometimes, when you are a matured person, you've gone to a level where memory is not enough, understanding is enough. Here, memory doesn't mean anything. We have to understand first analytically and then particularly these terms. If you don't study these terms, maybe terms are available, terms won't go anywhere. But you should know actually what you have in store for you. So we can say we had hot soft mixer, we had hot cement, we discussed with that. Then we had hot face, hot cement, we discussed hot face, surface of refractory. Let me just blow it little so that it's clear. Hot face, we can say hot face. What is hot face? Surface of a refractory section exposed to source of heat. Surface of a refractory section, and you know what is a refractory. For example, clay is refractory, that can withstand high temperature without any problem, and that we can say surface of refractory section exposed to source of heat, and it's called hot face. Hot load test. A test to determine resistance of deformation of or shear of a refractory material. A test for determining resistance to deformation or shear of refractory material when subject to a specified compressive load at a specified temperature for a specified time. I repeat, a test for determining resistance to deformation or shear of a refractory material when subject to a specified compressive load at a specified temperature for a specified time. And also we can say that here we have, let me keep it as it is now, Higher effect. What is higher effect? Radial expansion of pre-stress material. Radial expansion of pre-stress material due to its Poisson's coefficient caused by release of pretension. Radial expansion of, you know what is meaning of radial? Radial expansion of pre-stress material due to Poisson's coefficient caused by release of pretension. And higher effect, it is, you know what is higher? Hydrate, a chemical combination of water and another compound or an element, is hydrate. Hydrated lime, calcium hydroxide, COH, calcium hydroxide, a dry powder to obtain by treating quicklime with water. A dry powder obtained by treating quicklime with water, you can say calcium hydroxide it is. Then hydration, chemical reaction between hydraulic cement and water forming new compounds, most of which have strength producing properties. So hydration can be defined as chemical reaction between hydraulic cement and water forming new compounds, most of which have strength producing properties. Hydraulic cement, a binding material that sets and hardens by chemical reaction with water and is capable of doing so underwater. For example, Portland cement and slag cement are hydraulic cements. Portland cement and slag cements, GGBS, are hydraulic cement because these are cementing materials. Structure let me, I think, close this better. So, hydraulic concrete structure. Structure such as dams, spillways, bridges, abutments designed to resist erosion caused by cavitation, abrasion, or chemical action. It's very small, I can't see. Okay. Hydraulic, hydrated lime. Hydraulic, hydrated lime. Hydrated dry cementitious product obtained by calcining a limestone containing silica and alumina to a temperature short of incipient fusion. Incipient fusion so as to form sufficient free calcium oxide to permit hydration and at same time leaving unhydrated sufficient calcium silicates to give dry powder its hydraulic properties. Hydraulic hydrated lime, there's a double hydration in this, you can see hydraulic hydrated lime, so that's why long definition. Again I read hydrated dry cementitious product. Hydrated dry cementitious product obtained by calcining a limestone containing silica, and alumina. You have to calcine it to a temperature short of incipient fusion. Temperature short of incipient fusion, just think of this, so as to form sufficient free calcium oxide CaO to permit hydration. To form sufficient free calcium oxide enough for hydration and same time leaving unhydrated sufficient calcium silicates to give dry powder its hydraulic properties. See the complex definition. Hydrated dry cement product obtained by calcining limestone containing silica and alumina to a temperature just short of incipient fusion so as to form sufficient free calcium oxide to permit hydration and same time leaving unhydrated sufficient calcium silicates to give dry powder its hydraulic properties. Hydraulic hydrated lime, got it now? Or I read again? Okay, I read again for your convenience. Hydrated dry cementitious product obtained by calcining a limestone containing silica and alumina to a temperature short of incipient fusion so as to form sufficient free calcium oxide to permit hydration and at same time leaving unhydrated sufficient calcium silicates to give dry powder its hydraulic properties. Interesting, a long definition after a long time. And hydraulic cement grout. A grout, that is a mixture of hydraulic cement, aggregate, water, and possibly admixture. It's simple. Cement grout we're talking. A grout, that's a mixture of hydraulic cement, aggregate, water, and possibly admixtures. Hydromix nozzle. Hydromix nozzle, a shotcrete hose and nozzle configuration used to place of a pre-dampening system to introduce pressurized water into material stream via a water ring. Repeat, shotcrete hose and nozzle. Shotcrete hose and nozzle configuration used in place of pre-dampening system to introduce pressurized water into material stream via a water ring. It's hydromix nozzle. And we have here hydrous calcium chloride. Hydrous, of course, hydrous relates to water. Hydrous calcium chloride CaCl2, calcium chloride, and 2H2O. Hydrous calcium chloride, CaCl2, 2H2O, is solid, usually 77% calcium chloride. 77% calcium chloride in flake form. So, ignition loss and ilmenite. Now, ignition loss we'll see in, I think it's given somewhere on loss on ignition, so it will come in terms of when we reach L. So, ilmenite, 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 it's a mineral, it's iron titanate, iron titanate, FeTiO3, iron titanate. Ilmenite is a mineral, name of mineral is ilmenite, and its chemical form is FeTiO3, iron titanate, that in pure or impure form is commonly used as aggregate in high density concrete. Ilmenite is an aggregate for high density concrete which can be used to resist radiations. So, mineral, that's iron titanate, FeTiO3, iron is Fe and titanate is TiO3, FeTiO3, that in pure or impure form is commonly used as aggregate in high density concrete. Impact hammer, rebound hammer, we have studied that, we'll see in also rebound when we go there. Impending slope, consistency of shotcrete, shotcrete mixture, consistency of shotcrete mixture containing maximum amount of water, such that product shall not flow or sag after placement. Let us see what this means. Consistency of shotcrete mixture containing maximum amount of water. Consistency of shotcrete mixture containing maximum amount of water, such that product shall not flow or sag after placement. Inclined axis mixer. A truck with a revolving drum that rotates about an axis inclined to bed of truck chassis. You know what it means. This is transit mixer, of course, or some other form like that. So, incrustation. A crust or coating, generally hard, formed on surface of concrete. A crust or coating, generally hard, formed on surface of concrete or masonry construction or on aggregate particles. Incrustation. Just like we say crust of earth and this very top layer of 30 kilometers, 35 kilometers. So it's a crust or coating, it's like coating, generally hard, formed on surface of concrete or masonry construction or in aggregate particles. Indented wire. Wire having machine-made surface. Indentations intended to improve bond. Wire having machine-made surface, indentations intended to improve bond, depending on type of wire, used for either concrete reinforcement or pre-tensioning tendons. Initial curing. Deliberate action taken between placement and final finishing of concrete. Deliberate action taken between placement and final finishing of concrete to reduce loss of water from surface of concrete. So it is different terminology used here. Initial curing it is, and initial pre-stress. Pre-stressing stress or force, you can say. Pre-stressing stress applied to concrete. Pre-stressing stress applied to concrete at time of stressing. Initial setting. A degree of stiffening of cementitious mixture. Initial setting is a degree of stiffening of cementitious mixture less than final set, generally stated as an empirical value indicating time required for cementitious mixture to stiffen sufficiently to resist. To an established degree, penetration of weight test device, a degree of stiffening of cementitious mixture less than final set, generally stated as an empirical value indicating time required for cementitious mixture to stiffen sufficiently to resist to an established degree, penetration of weight test device. Initial setting time. Initial setting time is required for freshly mixed cement paste or mortar or concrete to achieve initial setting. We'll look at in final setting time as well. Initial stress. Initial stress. Stresses occurring in pre-stressed concrete members before any losses occur. Insert whatever other than reinforcing steel that is rigidly positioned within a concrete form for permanent embedment in hardened concrete. Insert is, if you, though concrete is not insert, the material used for stresses. So we can say whatever else other than reinforcement steel that is rigidly positioned within concrete form for permanent embedment in hardened concrete. In situ concrete, cast in place concrete is in situ concrete, and insoluble residue. Insoluble residue, portion of cement or aggregate, that's not soluble in dilute hydrochloric acid of stated concentration. Insoluble residue, portion of cement or aggregate that is not soluble in dilute hydrochloric acid of stated concentration. And this hydrochloric acid is very important term here because we use it for purpose of etching of floor or etching of surface, maybe while doing epoxy coating or something, or if you want to expose aggregate, in that case you can use hydrochloric acid with 10% concentration hydrochloric acid, or dilute, you can say 90% dilute, you can use for that purpose. So here it says portion of cement or aggregate that's not soluble in dilute hydrochloric acid of stated concentration. Insulating concrete having low